I am attempting to upcycle these plushies and use them as appliques on this jacket. So I found all of these items on different trips to the thrift store. I really like this jacket. I like that it's thin. I love the color. Yeah, and I think it's going to work great for what I'm trying to do. I found these guys on separate trips, and I love that it's a boy-girl combo. And I'm going to try and fit them onto the back of this jacket. It's basically going to be an emoji jacket because I'm going to put another emoji in the front. I've only done this once before, and it worked out. So here I have this double XL jacket, and I used the Peeps bunny. I found a little one here, and if you can see, I embroidered some grass on it, hand stitched some stuff on it. I had to hand stitch all this around so that the thread wouldn't come through. That is not the approach that I'm taking here, as it has all this thread in here. And if you saw my other video where I showed you some of my upcycled clothing, it becomes its own little art piece on the inside when you could see the stitching inside. That's what I like. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm going with. So I did use the backs of these, and I put the back here. And I just did a little patch here. I kept his tag on his butt. And these Peeps dolls have like a plastic badge that I tried to keep on there, but it didn't work out. So I gave him a little flower for a tail that I think looks really cute. Now, I found a pink one of these, the same size, and I could have put it here, but instead I thought it'd be cool to kind of make an outfit out of it. Now, these pants I just found like this. I don't know who made them. They're just a size large. And I loved the flowers. I thought that it paired well with the theme, the Easter theme, especially since we got a flower back here. And this is a work in progress. I'm going to attach this bunny here. Now this has to be hand stitched because I'm not going to cut these pants open and fray them or anything like that. I want them to keep their original shape. So I've already got it obviously unstitched and put some heat bond. So I'll iron it on, and it will glue on, and I will then sew a border around it to make sure it sticks on well. So that's this combination, and I thought it was super cute when it came out. So now I'm going to make this emoji jacket. I really think that this complements these colors here. So I think it's going to be cute. Let's give it a shot. The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and unstitch this, pull it apart, and see if it's going to work, because it's bubbled out. I don't know if it'll lay flat. If it doesn't, I might have to stuff it a little. That's okay. So we'll see how they work out, and then we'll get to sewing. But first, let me tear them open. Okay, so I never know what I'm going to encounter in these stuffed animals. Like the Peeps bunny, they had a bag of beans in there that kind of weighted the base of it down so that it would stand up. And here, once I opened it, there's this piece of fabric that keeps these ridges here plumped up. So I want to get rid of that. And so I'm picking out the stitching, which means now I've lost the brown thread that created these design lines on the on the image. So now, hopefully I don't lose this line here, and I can just stitch that on my own with my own thread to keep that design, because I want that to be there. And so I'm just going to go through and continue removing the stuffing and picking out these stitches here. Get it all out because it looks like it lays down flat, which is perfect. So I'm just going to keep going, removing the stitches gently, and hopefully I can retrace this accurately with my machine. Okay, now I'm just going to remove all of this thread that was there. Clean it up as best I can. Right. And it lays flat. I think it's important to keep these lines. That's why I'm going to try and retrace them. But I mean, you don't really have to. You could just sew the perimeter. So, yeah. All right. Now I'm going to do the other one. And chances are they're probably sewn the same way. Okay, this one's constructed the same as well. Just a different lining was used on the inside. And I usually hold on to the stuffing. If I acquire too much, then I will get rid of some of it, but sometimes I need stuffing when I make things, so I still utilize it. You know, if you make like decorative pillows, which is a fairly simple DIY, I mean, if you do this enough, you can have plenty of stuffing for a pillow project. So I'm just going to remove the stitching, just like I did the last one, and get rid of all of this stuffing. I'm taking my time and being careful because I don't want, this is a very sharp tool, and I don't want to tear a hole in this piece of fabric here. My wife is collecting our black walnuts, and this one came out very happy and is reminding us very much of a Labubu face. Okay, I have finished both of these. Just take some time to get it done gently. And now I'm going to apply heat and bond to the back of them because, I mean, it needs structure. So I'll do that next, and then we can start sewing them onto the jacket. So let's get that done next. Okay, here's my double-sided permanent fusible adhesive. If you're interested, I will remember. I hope I remember and are able to link an Amazon link to this product. And I mean, you get quite a bit of it. So it came next day, so I was very happy for that. One side, I think you could feel kind of where the glue is, and the other is straight up kind of like wax paper. So we want to adhere the wrong side to the glue side of this paper. And I usually just place what I'm going to sew onto it and cut the excess off before putting the iron on. I usually save all these offcuts because then I use them for even smaller projects. Yeah, I don't throw these pieces away. I'm going to try my best not to move the iron around, just place it on top for a few seconds. Okay, I've added the heat and bond to the back of them, and you see how I use the offcuts of the heat and bond to fill the little spaces that I didn't get. Now, what I've decided to do is this area here, the border where it was stitched closed on the actual plushie, I think I'm going to cut right up to that. I'm going to cut all around the perimeter of that stitch line. The same with this one to have a very clean border, and then I will stitch on the inside of that. So just to get clean lines, I'm going to cut around that stitching line of the border of these plushies. So I'll just go ahead and do that. And I'm doing that while the interfacing paper is on here, so it's more stable for me to cut around. Okay, so I went ahead and trimmed those borders. Now I have a cleaner edge. I think they look real good this way. And now I'm going to go ahead and grab the jacket that I'm going to use and iron them onto that. Okay, I've laid out the back of my jacket, and I want this one down here. Probably gonna have to remove this little belt loop because I definitely don't have that, and I want it to cross over some to here over this seam. You can see that. So I'm just gonna take this off so it's not in the way, and then get ready to set him down here. Okay, I'm happy with the placement of this one here, and I am going to go ahead and peel the backing off of this product. Okay, now I'm just going to reposition it. You see the shininess of the glue here. Now I'm going to just place it back up here. I have a piece of fabric here that I'm going to use to cover the applique here, so it doesn't burn this fabric or any other fabric. Okay, I am done ironing this on. It went on nicely. Now I'm just going to sew the perimeter of this design. I'm going to use some gold thread. I think I'm going to use, I don't know if I'm going to use a zigzag stitch yet or more of a straight line. I'm thinking probably zigzag. Okay, I just finished putting on the first one, and I was able to go in and stitch those lines through it. It was difficult because it started fading right away, so I kind of improvised parts of it, but it's fine. It looks fine. I went around it twice for durability and then across the middle. So I feel good about that. And I love how it looks so far, just with the one guy on it. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna get the next one on. Okay, I've got this all ironed on. I went ahead and took my tailor's chalk to draw the line of the stitching because I can't see it in certain angles and I'm losing it. So this way, I'm going to do it first and then do the perimeter, so just to get that part over with. But here I go. Okay, I've got both of them sewn on to the back of the jacket, and I am loving how it looks. Now, I'm not going to stop there. I have more that I want to add to it because this is an emoji-themed jacket, and I've come across some other plushies. Okay, so I have this text. I mean, you can't have emojis without text. I found this randomly, and I'm going to put it here like he's saying sup to her. I think probably there is where I'll put it. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. I'm going to take off the stitching, get rid of the stuffing, put the interfacing on, get it ironed on, and then get it sewn on. Okay, this is where I'm at with everything put on. I think it looks really cool. I'm so excited about how it came out. Because like I said, I've only made this one, and this is my second time trying this out, and I'm really happy with how it came out. I think that it's working, but all the actions on the back. So I think I'm going to add just maybe one or two things on the front. You'll see. So looking at my stash of plushies, I have a couple that I think would work on this jacket. Will it fit? Maybe. I'll make it fit, but I'm thinking that adding these to the front will work. And I still have the other side of that text one that I could still use, and I might. So I'm not sure. I'm not done. I feel like I should just go all the way with the emojis, okay? I decided to create some applique patches, so I'm just going to trace out some shapes on some fabric so that I can go ahead and stitch on to my jacket. Okay, this is where I'm at so far. I did add the emojis, as you could see. Now, this one was real difficult because it was large, but I didn't want to cut anything off of it. So I had to really get creative here with not sewing the pocket shut. And same here, it was very difficult to get the stitching here in on the pocket without losing the pocket. So I like it. I love the back so much. I'm so stoked about it. I'm probably going to add another row of stitching around the text just because I don't know for longevity how the glue is going to hold up, and if some of it peels off or washes out. I just want to make sure that there's some extra stitching to keep all that down. And these are fine because I've stitched through them, so I'm not worried about those. And this one's small enough that I just did the perimeter, and this one I went around a few times because it's so large. Now this is great, we could stop here, but I'm a maximalist and I don't care to, so I am thinking about adding some more applique, maybe. Okay, something like this. I'm not married to this idea, but I do like it, kind of taking up some of that large real estate there. I think that would be super sweet. And I could even do a larger denim heart over here. The possibilities are endless. So I'm just going to go ahead and go for it. And yeah, I'm happy with that.
Y'all make your body bounce like baller, better than them staying off no rival. Y'all make your body bounce like baller, better than them staying off no rival. Y'all make your body bounce like baller, better than them staying off no rival. Y'all make your body bounce like baller, better than them staying off no rival.
Thank you so much for watching my upcycling video on how to use plushies and stuffed animals to breathe new life into your upcycled projects. Now, there is a ton of stuffed animals and plushies out there in the thrift stores and the Goodwill bins destined for the dump. And I think that we can use them for a little while longer before they get there and do something like this. And we're not limited to a jacket. We could put them on totes and jeans. Another idea that I had was, I know people collect them from their dates, and it's another way, instead of just letting them collect dust on a shelf, to go ahead and make a jacket or something really neat out of the plushies and stuffed animals that maybe you won at a carnival or an arcade. And that's an idea. At least that's something that I would care to do. I'll bring it in and get you some close-up shots, but this is it. This is how it ended up coming out. I'm very happy with how it came out. And you saw I showed a quick little shot of how I just traced letters and hearts onto fabric and sewed them on, which is exactly what I did with the hearts. And I'm super happy with how it came out. The only thing is that if you decide to do this, please share it with me, please. Okay. But thank you so much for hanging out with me, coming over to my house. Please consider being my sister, my brother, and coming back over anytime you want, okay? I'm going to try my best to keep making content. I am loving the art of upcycling. I'm very new to it, and I'm enjoying the heck out of it. My inspiration, my muse is definitely my inner child, and she gets to do whatever she wants, and it's been a delight. And I hope that it is for you too. Well, until my next video, bye!
Y'all make your body bounce like baller. Better than them stand off no rival. Y'all make your body bounce like baller. Better than them stand